What's going on, guys? It's Colin here for NextGenTactics, and today I'm bringing you some Rush attack on White Pass. And some of you have asked me to play some more Rush, so here we go. And I'm going to give you my tactics and how I like to approach this map. Now, when the map was first released as part of, I believe it was Map Pack 7 for Bad Company 2, the first two MCOM stations are located in one building, and then once you got beyond the first base, the remaining 4 MCOM stations were all in destructible environments. So if you got this first base done, that was pretty much it, because typically your teammates, or even with tough firefighting happening around the other bases, the buildings would collapse and that would be it. However, DICE patched it and moved 2 of the MCOM stations outside, so it's no longer a snap to get through the rest of this board once you take the first base down. So let's talk about the first base here, and what we're doing is my teammates, they head into the building. They're going to basically flank straight in from the left-hand side, from our left, the defender's right. And what I do is cut all the way around the back. And what I'm doing here is trying to provide a spawn point, and I'm going to cut the defenders off from getting into the building. So as my teammates manage to slowly clear the building out, I'm going to make sure that the defenders can't get back in, to the best of my ability. And I do let a few scragglers go by, but by and large, once a teammate spawns on me, we do a pretty good job of keeping the building clear, and our teammates are going to be able to go in and arm these objectives without a whole lot of resistance. And that's the key to this first map, is to getting the building cleared out and keeping it cleared out, because it becomes like a shotgun battle inside. It's just a storm of explosives and shotguns, and it can be very, very difficult to take. When you're defending, this is the base that you really want to defend on. So anyway, we're pretty much doing exactly what we want here, and it's almost it's almost surgical here in the first base. And as you can see, we've now got the spawn cut off. They can't get into the building. Both objectives are armed, and that's pretty much going to be a wrap here for the first base. And that's how I like it to go. I like it when my tactics work out and everything goes the way I planned. Now, as you're going to see as the round moves on, that's not going to be the case all the way through. And this is actually going to wind up... I know you hate the spoiler alerts. I know you hate the spoiler alerts. But this is actually going to be a fail analysis towards the end of the game. And you will see why. Now, as we move on past this first base, one of the tactics that I've shared with you guys repeatedly is when you're attacking or defending in Rush, if you have 2 MCOM stations on a base and one is in a destructible environment and the other isn't, you always want to focus your attention on the MCOM that is not in a destructible building. The same holds true if you're attacking or defending. If you're attacking and you destroy the MCOM that's in the destructible environment, that is going to allow the defenders to put all of their focus on the MCOM that is not in that environment. And on White Pass here, all the MCOM stations that aren't destructible are out in the open. So if you leave that, right here, this guy's just AFK, so I decided to stab him. But if you leave that MCOM station that's out in the open as the only one left on the base, then the natural tendency of the defenders is going to be to collapse around it, and you're going to have a really, really tough fight. Now, I'm sort of the mobile spawn point here on this base as well, and so I'm just going to kind of take cover in the house, give my other 2 squad mates a place to spawn, and try and take down these objectives. Now, what I'm going to do right here is a big mistake. If I'm the spawn point and I'm the one trying to stay alive, and if you look in the lower left, I am the only one alive, I should have hidden rather than stick my head out and challenge that sniper. So he takes me down, and we have to push up from our deployment again, which is never a good thing. You always want to try and maintain that presence and pressure on the defenders. But we're going to move up again, and rather than take that far left-hand flank route again, I'm going to try and be a little bit craftier and sneak up here through the middle and just stay alive. I'm going to pick off a couple of defenders, and then I'm going to get shot in the back. So that's the risk when you're kind of out in the open like this, pushing forward, is that a defender's going to be able to get behind you and take you down. So not the best maneuver always, but, you know, there it is. I'm shot in the back. I know you guys hate it when I give it away, but when I'm trying to analyze the gameplay and let you know what's going on, I'm always kind of a little bit ahead as to what's happening on the screen, because I'm anticipating and explaining what's happening. So we do manage to get these stations armed here, and now I'm just cutting off the defenders who were holed up in that building overlooking the MCOM station. I'm going to get grenaded, but we do manage to take this down. So we're on to the last base, and I decide to try and, because I've gone left and left, I decide maybe I'll try and flank right this time. And, you know, the defender spawn on this final base is actually a little bit tricky, because you would have to go out of area to get behind them. So it's really not possible to get all the way behind the defender spawn. You have to kind of be creative and try and clear them out from the side if you're going to flank. And on this base, So there are the two MCOM stations. There's one in the barn, and there is the other that's behind the back left building from an attacker's perspective. The one in the barn is destructible, so that is the one you want to basically leave alone. And right here, I think that I'm getting into a good position, but I don't clear the area well, and I don't notice that they're sitting on the MCOM station. When I pop my head up here, I'm going to get wasted, and they are going to get the disarm. Now, we're going to get this thing armed a few times, and I've actually edited out a couple of arms because I was actually at the respawn screen. But suffice it to say that now that this is outside, it's a very, very difficult MCOM station to take. Because the defenders spawn right behind it, there's very little cover between you and the defenders, so you have to really push them back. And if your team doesn't push up, then you're going to have a very hard time. Hard enough time when you have two MCOM stations left, but if you manage to destroy the one in the barn first, then this base against a decent defensive team can be almost impossible now, which is kind of good. I mean, it's a challenge. And what happened was my team, they weren't sitting back at long range and sniping or anything, but unfortunately they were never really pushing up past that bunch of cars in the barn. Like that was sort of where they were setting up the front line. So we were never able to really push the defense deep enough back to get a clean arm and defense on that final MCOM station here in this situation. So at this point I decide I'm going to try and rock a shotgun, and as you see, as I was in the last respawn screen, my team, the random teammates actually took down the barn. So now we're left with this one MCOM station. It's going to be a heck of a battle, and the team is kind of set up behind these rocks, behind this wall. We have some medics, there are health packs, there's lots of ammo, so we're doing that, but there's no coordinated effort to push forward to the MCOM station. So as we kind of pop our heads out, we're getting pot shots taken at us. Right there's a grenade fail. I bounced it off the ass of that medic and almost killed myself. So here we get the station armed again, but I'm not in a good position to defend it. So at this point I'm running the lightweight kit and a shotgun. I'm hoping to try and clear out the area a little bit. And unfortunately, I kind of have some hit detection issues here, so I focus too much time on the recon who's not paying attention to the MCOM station, and I'm not able to actually get things cleared out in time to prevent the disarm. Now, I do clear out some of the area. I do have some team support. We get some kills, and there, I'm going to get the station armed. Unfortunately, I picked up a med kit, so I'm not in the best position to just kind of hole up there and pick them off. And I screw up, and I expose myself, giggity, to the defenders who are coming over from our right-hand side, and they shoot me through the building. So now we're down, and we don't have enough of a presence around that MCOM. You can see that there's a line on the mini-map of blue teammates who really aren't pushing up. So once again, this is going to get disarmed, and we're starting to get critically low on tickets. Once you get down below 20, it is mission critical. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to attempt to kind of ninja my way right up over this house, and now I get shot, and I fail going backwards. I try and take a shot in the dark, and I decide, screw it, I think I'm dead anyway. I'm going to try and get the station armed. It doesn't work out. So at this point, we're going to try and make a push up the right-hand side. We don't want to mix it up and keep coming from the same direction. And as you can see, very quickly, before you get into the defender's spawn area, you're out of bounds. And because I'm out of bounds, my vision's obscured. I did not see that medic right in front of me, and I get wiped out. So had I taken him down and managed to kind of sneak around those rocks and get some cover, might have had a chance, but unfortunately I get taken down. We're going to try the right-hand route again, and as you can see, these defenders are now pushing. They've got the flanks covered, so where we're coming from the left, it's covered. Straight away, it's covered. The right-hand flank is covered. We're toast. Game over. We lose. And that's kind of why it's important, guys, to focus on the non-destructible MCOM station first. That way, the attention of the defenders is split a little bit, and you have a chance at getting that armed and defended. As you can see, we got it armed a few times. It just didn't work out. So you always want to follow that one piece of advice. Go for the non-destructible MCOM station first, and hopefully this won't happen to you. Anyway, that is all for me, guys. A bit of a loss analysis, and I'm pretty sure that if we had have left both MCOM stations, we might have been able to actually pull that one out. Didn't happen. That is all. Cheers. We'll talk soon.
Hey guys, we now have our own website. Actually, we've always had our own website, but why not follow us on there? There you'll find all our videos conveniently sorted into playlists by game, as well as videos from many other directors that are part of our NGT network.